I kind of wanted to touch up on an issue that affects me, but many people don't really know very much about it. It's called tendonitis, and really it can affect different areas, but I'm going to talk in the wrist because that's what affects me. Um, Basically, it is a lot like carpal tunnel. I was tested for carpal tunnel, I was tested for arthritis, I was tested for a lot of things, and it came up negative. Most people don't think about this, not even doctors, not even specialists. I had electroconvulsion test done on my arm, and it was negative. Everybody was so confused by it, and it took years, like almost 10 years, before I even ran across tendonitis. But basically, what happens is you have your wrists, and usually you can bend them forward, like my left one right here. I'm not holding this one back, it just won't go that far down. And the same with going right. It limits your range of motion in your hand, which means you can't move it as much. And it hurts me whenever I try to go back. It hurts right up there and in there, and it goes up into this pinky finger and a little bit up in here. It's a really sharp pain. And what actually happens with that is there is some internal inflammation, but it doesn't show up as easily visible as most inflammation that you would be well aware of. It is internal, and it just kind of keeps your joints from moving around as much. But basically, it's a lot of the same things that you're going to see with something like carpal tunnel. It is made worse with repetitive activity, anything that requires a lot of wrist movement, writing, or playing an instrument sometimes, or even texting if you still go like that instead of with your swipe your phone around kind of thing. That still kind of hurts a bit, but it's more easily dealt with. It's not going to trigger it nearly as often. But the big thing, where I knew it was a definite thing, I thought I was chronically spraining my wrist for unknown reasons. In high school, I had to do yoga, and I was only able, I tried to do the downward dog, and it wasn't working. But I kept pushing. I was able to go through 2.5 rotations of the going forward and back thing before my wrist gave out. I fell. I kind of injured myself. I thought I sprained my wrist there. But then there's another thing about a year later where I was petting my dog, and then boom, my wrist stopped. It hurt. It was so terrible. And it's not really known why. I got tested a lot. Everything came up negative. I've also got back pain, but that can also be attributed to my breast size. I I'm not entirely sure if I actually believe that, but it's the best kind of explanation any doctor's given me so far. It's completely beside the point. The wrist pain, however, I was able to track down to tendonitis. And a lot of times people will tell you with any kind of injury of this kind to joints and stuff that you have to work through it. If you don't push past it, it's not going to get better. You're just going to keep remaining weak, and it's not going to work any better. That's not the case. This is a tendon injury. You do not want to work past a tendon injury. Well, it's not exactly an injury, it's an inflammation. That's what itis means. It's just an inflammation of something. But basically, the tendon in your arm, it will inflame a bit, it will respond to different things disproportionately, which does affect the same carpal tunnel nerve system that carpal tunnel syndrome does. But the main difference you'll notice is carpal tunnel will pretty much just affect your thumb and right up here. It's like this nerve right here. You can see I push it and it moves my thumb involuntarily. But with tendonitis, one thing is it will also affect your pinky and sometimes your ring finger right there. With me, it just shoots up sharp pain to like the middle of my ring finger, and it hurts a lot, really. Anti-inflammatories don't really work for me, and honestly, inflammation is nature's way of telling you to mobilize something, so making the inflammation go away and splinting it seems kind of counterintuitive to me in most cases anyway. There are definitely exceptions where anti-inflammatories are beneficial, but for the most part, if you take anti-inflammatories, you're going to want to splint up whatever you're opening the movement up to, which can also help it heal in a more conductive and better way. But with tendonitis, you're going to want to ice it and splint it. You're going to want it to be as immobile as possible until it fully heals. Because otherwise you're just going to injure it worse. You're going to be in worse shape for longer. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any stronger. It's one of the things that you do that can make you have to have surgery or something in order to address it. So just don't do that. Use one of these. I got it at Walmart for like $10. It actually hurts me a lot to open it with my hand when it needs it, so that's a bit ironic. But basically you just slide your hand right on in there, get it strapped on so it's nice and snug, and it helps a lot with keeping you from accidentally moving it from everyday movements. Keeps it in place as much as it needs to be. Can still use it for most things without the accidental stuff. Obviously you're going to want whatever brace fits you the best. This one just happened to fit my hand the best. I don't recommend any particular brand or style. Just do whatever's best for you.